To give up, you have to be dead, or completely incapacitated.
Danger zone!
Brace yourselves, knowledge is coming frontal, guard this you flunking casual. Boom. Boom but boom. Agenda. My head feels like the bunch of monkeys fighting over bucket or marbles. Do you want agenda? Because that is how you not get an agenda. ccna Part 78. Python Section 9. DevOps aka Operating Systems Chapter 2. Agronoms but Day 24. Lithuanian trader by default. Cosmos Class 1. Tell me the truth, son. What will you think ccna learn you to do? Previously on Ready Not to Die Right Now. ICMP types and code. Type 0,3,8. Code 0,3,0. Type code 00. Type code 30, 31, 32, 33. Type 80. And now but. ICMP header. The ICMP header and not ICMO header is very small header, phrasing, compared to the IP header and the TCP header. All it has is type code checksum and other. And type is 8-bit field indicating ICMP type being used. Duh. And code is 8-bit field indicating the ICMP code being used. Duh. And checksum is 16-bit field verifying integrity of DHACMP header. And other is a field that stores any data within the ICMP header. Example your Microsoft operating systems policy part of the alphabet in this field for echo request messages. But also note that Internet Group Management Protocol aka IGMP is another internet layer protocol and is used for multicast applications. Next on Ready Not to Die for the ccna for some long time. Address Resolution Protocol aka ARP. What the deal with Python? Are they modules or esto muy tu emocionado? There is more than one Python aka CPython and Cython. So but Python aka CPython. In addition to Python 2 and Python 3, there is more than one version of each. First of all, there are Pythons which are maintained by the people gathered around Python Software Foundation, a community that aims to develop, improve, and popularize Python and its environment. This community's president is Guido van Rossum himself, and for this reason, these Pythons are called canonical. They are also considered to be reference Pythons, as any other implementation of the language should follow all standards established by the Python Software Foundation. Guido van Rossum used the C programming language to implement very first version of this language, and this decision is still in force. All Pythons coming from the Python Software Foundation are written in the C language. There are many reasons for this approach. One of them, probably the most important, is that thanks to EAR, Python may be easily ported and migrated to all platforms with the ability to compile and run C language programs. Virtually all platforms have this feature, which opens up many expansion opportunities for Python. This is why the Python Software Foundation is often referred to as CPython. This is the most influential Python among all Python in the world. But Cython. Another Python family member is Cython. Cython is one of a possible number of solutions to the most painful of Python's traits, lack of efficiency. Large and complex mathematical calculations may be easily coded in Python, much easier than in C or any other traditional language, but the resulting code execution may be extremely time-consuming. How are these two contradictions reconciled? One solution is to write your mathematical ideas using Python, and when you are absolutely sure that your code is correct and produces valid results, you can translate it into C. Certainly, C will run much faster than pure Python. This is what Cython is intended to do, to automatically translate the Python code, clean and clear, but not too swift, into C code, complicated and talkative, but agile. Fin. One does not simply do DevOps without taking down the production. Fine. So some dumb stuff for dumb man like my son. Let's assume we have high-level program. This high-level program cannot be placed inside the hard disk directly. But our CPU cannot understand high-level programs. CPU can understand binary and only binary, 1 and 0. So we have to convert our program into binary, 1 and 0 aka XE aka executable code aka machine code. So we convert program to machine code using compiler and then place that stuff into hard disk. So how CPU access program? How will it execute? Our CPU cannot access hard disk directly, but CPU can access RAM directly. So if CPU requesting for program, we will search for a program inside the RAM. What is this English suddenly? Yeah. By the way, RAM is very small compared to hard disk. And hard disk is cheap and RAM is costly, right? So we cannot place all the program inside the RAM because the RAM is very small. So if CPU wants to execute program, it will look for it in RAM, and if it finds it, it will execute it, boom. So but if program is not present in the RAM, it will be present in the hard disk. So it will be copied to the RAM, aka create a copy of the program, aka process, and then CPU now can access the process. Let's not call it program anymore. So if the process is present in the RAM, it will take very less time, haha. Okay. Fine. Okay, fine. If you could stop using unnecessary 24 agronym, that would be great, son. PSK, pre-shared key. PSTN, public switch telephone network. PTP, point-to-point. PTR, pointer. PUA, privileged user agreement. PVC, permanent virtual circuit. QoS, quality of service. QSFP, quad small form factor pluggable. Radius, remote authentication dial-in user service. RARP, reverse address resolution protocol. RAS, remote access service. There are forces at work in the cosmos that we cannot explain. For example, why do people keep listening to this? So what is time? You may see a cup of tea fall off a table and break into pieces on the floor. But you will never see the cup gather itself back together and jump back on the table. So what is time? In ancient Greece, Aristotle stated that time was simply the steps between before and after, whilst Hindu philosophers saw time as cyclical, from creation to destruction over 4 billion years. But its true origin remained elusive. Like space-time seems to be something obvious. But it is something different altogether. We cannot travel through time. Time has direction. So to understand time, we have to think horses and steam engines. So you feed animal and animal does the work, but how much does the feeding engine needs? So what is the efficiency of engine? Some steam is lost. Some friction between metal parts. So some energy is lost and entropy was introduced. But let's jump forward, everything is marching from order to disorder. So is time is dying universe? Information and entropy. So processing of information generates a lot of heat. But the situation even more complex than that. It is not simply the processing of the information that leads to waste heat, but the forgetting of the information also. When we add 3 and 2 we get 5, but if I told you the answer is 5, you would not be able to tell me what number were summed together. So thermodynamics provides with a thermal limit of forgetting. Landauer limit, aka inevitable release of energy from erasing a single bit of information, and at room temperature is 1/100th of an electron volt. Buy high, sell low, buy low, sell lower. Delete yourself. Success. Some old stuff.